Tale of Abu Sabir, a story of patience and destiny. A long time ago, in the great city of Baghdad, there lived a kind-hearted blacksmith named Abu Sabir. He was known throughout the city for his honesty, integrity, and tireless hard work. Everyone respected him not just for his craft, but also for his humble and contented nature. Before we continue with the story, as you can see on the screen, many viewers watch our videos without subscribing. We humbly request that you subscribe to our channel so we can continue bringing you more inspiring stories. Thank you for your support. Every day, Abu Sabir would go to his workshop, toil from sunrise to sunset, mending horseshoes, forging swords, and creating tools for villagers. Whatever little amount of dinars he earned at the end of the day, he would thank Allah and feed his wife and children with it. But what truly made Abu Sabir special was his unwavering patience. No matter how difficult the situation, no complaint ever crossed his lips. Because of this quality, the townspeople began calling him Abu Sabir, the father of patience. They deeply respected him and often turned to him for advice in difficult times. One day, news spread that a ferocious lion had appeared in the nearby forest. It had attacked livestock and made life miserable for the shepherds. Whenever someone took animals into the forest, the lion would pounce from nowhere, cause great harm, and forced them to flee in terror, often leaving their animals behind. Terrified and desperate, the villagers rushed to Abu Sabir and pleaded, "Tell us what to do about this lion. We're being ruined. Either help us kill it or find a way to drive it away." Abu Sabir calmly replied, "Brothers, be patient. This lion is not a goat that you can easily chase away. If you try to fight it yourselves, you may lose your lives. Have you not seen how easily it destroys entire herds?" The villagers heeded his advice and decided to wait. Then fate took a turn. The very next day, two skilled hunters arrived in the village. The villagers told them about the lion and the destruction it had caused. The hunters headed into the forest and, after a fierce battle, they managed to kill the lion and return with its carcass. The villagers rejoiced, and Abu Sabir reminded them, "You see, patience always brings good results. Had you rushed in yourselves, the lion might have destroyed you." Everyone appreciated Abu Sabir's wisdom and thanked him for preventing a hasty decision. But their trials weren't over. A few days later, some of the Sultan's tax collectors came to the village to gather levies. They were arrogant and misused their power, demanding more than was due. Their greed turned the villagers' peaceful lives into misery. When the villagers protested, the officials grew more aggressive. Eventually, a few hot-headed young men from the village lost control and ended up killing the officials. In panic, they threw the bodies into the river. Word of the incident eventually reached the Sultan, who was enraged. "Who dares defy me and kill my men?" he roared. "Bring the traitors to me." The villagers realized their grave mistake and decided to go to the Sultan to plead for forgiveness. But before they did, they once again turned to Abu Sabir for advice. Abu Sabir said, "Brothers, be patient. Don't go to the Sultan yet. Let time unfold. Time has a way of deciding things." But this time, patience came at a high cost. The Sultan's soldiers, under his command, stormed the village and burned it to the ground. The villagers screamed in despair, "Abu Sabir, your patience has ruined us." In desperation, they finally went to the Sultan's court, confessed everything, and explained how his own officials were exploiting the villagers, collecting more money than required and pocketing the extra. The Sultan listened carefully and said, "Had you come to me earlier, I would not have destroyed your village. But you chose patience, and that led to your ruin." Then he ordered Abu Sabir to be exiled from the village. "You tell him to be patient," the Sultan said coldly, "until his wisdom returns." Abu Sabir, now stripped of his home and possessions, left the village with his wife and two sons. On the way, the Sultan's soldiers even took away the few dinars he had saved from years of hard labor. Now, with nothing but faith in Allah, Abu Sabir began his journey into the unknown. As they passed through a forest, a group of bandits attacked them. Finding no valuables, they became furious and kidnapped Abu Sabir's sons, saying, "We'll sell them in the slave market and make money from them." Abu Sabir, though heartbroken, still remained composed. "Allah will help us, inshallah," he said, trying to calm his weeping wife. They continued walking until they reached a village. Abu Sabir left his wife under a tree to go search for food. But while he was gone, a passing soldier spotted his wife and forcibly took her away to make her his slave. When Abu Sabir returned, he found his wife missing. He had already lost his sons, and now his wife was gone too. His heart blowed with sorrow, yet not a word of complaint escaped his lips. He wandered through forests and deserts, searching for his family, until he reached a large city. Weak and starving, he entered a roadside inn where a generous nobleman had arranged free food for all travelers. After eating, Abu Sabir asked the innkeeper if there was any work available. "I'm a blacksmith by trade," he said. The innkeeper replied, "There's no blacksmith work here, but the king is building a mighty fortress. You should go to him. But be careful, whatever task he gives, don't refuse it. The king is harsh with those who displease him." Abu Sabir went to the palace and asked for work. The king, overseeing the construction of a great fort, assigned Abu Sabir to carry heavy stones. One day, while lifting a massive stone, it slipped from Abu Sabir's hands and crashed into a wall, causing it to collapse. Hearing the noise, the soldiers rushed in. At that very moment, the king arrived to inspect the fort. Seeing the destroyed wall, he was furious. The guards seized Abu Sabir and dragged him before the king. "This is the man who caused the damage," they said. The king immediately ordered him to be thrown into a dark dungeon. Days later, the king suddenly fell ill with a mysterious and deadly disease. He withered away into a skeleton and eventually died. The ministers were confused about who should be crowned next, as the king had no known heir. However, they remembered that the former king had once imprisoned his own brother in a dungeon, suspecting him of rebellion. When they searched the dungeon, they found Abu Sabir inside, deep in prayer. Mistaking him for the king's brother, the ministers brought him out and declared him the new king. Thus, the once destitute blacksmith, exiled from his village and stripped of all he held dear, became the ruler of a mighty kingdom. As king, Abu Sabir began a new era of justice and compassion. One day his wife, hearing about the fairness of the new king, came to the court to seek justice for herself. The moment Abu Sabir saw her, he recognized her instantly but gave her a subtle signal to remain quiet. Soon after, two young men were brought into court. They were slaves being sold in the market. Abu Sabir recognized them as his lost sons. Then one day the cruel former sultan, now defeated and humbled, came to the court of the new king to beg for forgiveness. Abu Sabir smiled and said, "You chose tyranny, and I chose patience. Today, I sit on the throne, and you stand before me as a beggar." The former sultan hung his head in shame, unable to respond. Moral of the story: this story teaches us that patience is never wasted. Allah is always with those who endure hardships without complaint. We often rush to act based on our limited knowledge, but Allah knows what is best for us. He sees the bigger picture when we can only see a small part. Dear viewers, if you like this story, don't forget to like the video and leave a comment. And most importantly, please subscribe to our channel UI Echo so we can continue bringing you such powerful and heartwarming stories. Thank you.